Liverpool isn't the only city battling crime families, drug trafficking, and street violence, but its most infamous underworld figures have long captivated the public, whether through gritty headlines or fictional portrayals. Behind many of these feared men are women drawn to the status and influence that comes with life beside Liverpool's most dangerous criminals. From Curtis Warren's heyday in the 1990s to the rise of the Huyton firm in more recent times, Liverpool has earned the nickname Naples of the North, a nod to its deep and often mythologized ties to organized crime. The year 2022 saw a wave of brutal violence, with the fatal shootings of a young schoolgirl and 3 women shocking the city.
9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell was tragically shot dead at her own home on Kings Heath Avenue in Dovecot on the evening of August 22nd last year.
In the aftermath, courtroom trials revealed how Olivia Pratt-Corbell, Ashley Dale, and Elle Edwards all lost their lives to the ongoing turf wars between rival drug gangs. Thomas Cashman and his crew are now serving life behind bars for their roles in the killings.
I now pronounce the sentence. On count 1, for the murder of Olivia Pratt-Corbell, the sentence will be life imprisonment. The minimum term will be 42 years, less the time the defendant has already spent on remand.
As convictions stack up, it's become common in court to hear how these gun-toting gang leaders often have loyal partners standing by them. These so-called gangster girlfriends, often referred to as molls, are sometimes drawn to the lifestyle for its wealth, but the reasons run deeper. Many were raised in communities where criminality commands respect, while regular day jobs are seen as something to look down on. For them, jail time, media scrutiny, and even threats to life are just part of being with a man involved in serious crime. Still, it's not always about money. The danger and dominance are part of the appeal. One woman who dated a former gangster went on record to say, "It's that take charge attitude. It can be strangely comforting, even empowering in a way. Like that bad boy energy makes you feel more secure and feminine." Plenty of young women are willing to gamble everything for the attention and status that comes from strolling into upscale venues like San Carlo with a feared man on their arm. These women are often tied to some of Liverpool's most infamous criminals. Thomas Cashman's girlfriend faced backlash for her designer looks during his high-profile murder trial at Manchester Crown Court, where he stood accused of killing 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Corbell. Kayleeanne Sweeney stood by Cashman throughout the proceedings, even after revelations of his cheating. She often arrived at court in bright pink coats and oversized sunglasses, drawing just as much attention as the case itself. The couple lived together in West Derby, supported by Cashman's estimated annual income of £250,000. But Cashman, or Cash, as he was called on the streets, wasn't making money legally. He built his fortune through cannabis farms and drug sales in the Dovecot area, while also enforcing for the feared Huyton firm. Meanwhile, Kayleeanne was often seen driving her £33,000 Land Rover Discovery Sport to the beauty salon she managed, or posting pictures from holidays abroad with her gangster partner. Their lifestyle was funded by the drug trade. They lived in a £450,000 detached home in a wealthy neighborhood where high-end cars like Bentleys and Teslas are common. From the end of 2021, they reportedly paid £2,000 a month to rent the 4-bedroom home and also leased a high-end 2-bedroom apartment with views of the River Mersey. Throughout the trial, Kayleeanne took on the role of the loyal partner, standing by Cashman even as he was accused of killing a child inside her own home. When asked in court whether Kayleeanne knew where his money came from, which was more than 7 times the average income for the area, Cashman replied, "She didn't ask, I didn't tell." Still, he conceded that she probably suspected he was involved in drug dealing. For many in Liverpool, the tragic killing of schoolboy Rhys Jones marked a turning point, a time when youth gangs seemed to dominate Croxteth and Norris Green. Rhys, just 11 years old, was walking home after a kickabout with friends when he was shot and killed by Sean Mercer. The bullet was meant for a rival gang member, but Rhys was caught in the crossfire. After a lengthy investigation, police finally arrested Mercer and other members of the Croxteth crew. But not long after Mercer was sentenced to 22 years behind bars by Judge Henry Globe, his mother, Janette Mercer, stood before the same judge. It turned out she had lied to officers about the type of bike her son had used on the night of the shooting, providing false information about its color. This misdirection slowed down the police inquiry. Janette later confessed to lying and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Then, in 2023, new revelations surfaced. She had once again misled police, this time to protect her younger son, Joseph. Despite knowing he was wanted for drug offences by Dorset police, Janette let him stay at her home. Authorities eventually discovered Joseph was living with her in Kirkdale and had also been spotted at the upscale Malmaison Hotel on Liverpool's waterfront. In court, it was revealed that Joseph regularly mistreated and physically attacked his mother, raising questions about the pressure she was under. Janette wiped away tears as she received a 9-month prison sentence.
What's the reaction? Do you have a reaction?
Terry Murray gained national attention when she alleged that UFC star Conor McGregor had fathered her daughter, Clodagh. The Liverpool woman claimed she had a one-night stand with McGregor after bumping into him at a nightclub in the city. The Dublin-born fighter was in town during the 2017 Grand National weekend, seen partying with a large entourage. But DNA tests later confirmed that McGregor was not the child's father. The MMA star had always insisted it was a friend of his who had slept with Murray, not him. Locally, however, Murray was already known in Liverpool's criminal circles due to her relationship with Carl Bradley. Bradley, younger brother of feared gangster Kirk Bradley, was gunned down in what police called a targeted killing in March 2013. His body was later discovered under a layer of snow, with authorities confirming only that he was known to police, but offering few other details. Carl Bradley, whose father Trevor had drug convictions, lived the high life while dating Murray, often taking trips abroad and flaunting a lavish lifestyle. His exact source of wealth was never formally identified, but locals said he was a familiar face in the city's underworld. Police did later confirm that Thomas Cashman was questioned in connection with Bradley's killing, though no charges were brought against him. Word around Liverpool is that Kirk Bradley, currently behind bars on a 22-year sentence, hasn't forgotten and may still be seeking revenge. Stephen Clarke and his crew had a fearsome reputation, once dominating Liverpool's nightlife scene with brute force and intimidation. A heavily built kickboxer, Stephen and his younger brother Peter lived luxuriously in the Southport suburbs, while running a web of illicit operations. Their main source of income was trafficking drugs into Ireland. Stephen oversaw a network of cannabis farms scattered around Southport, while Peter focused on smuggling cocaine across the Irish Sea. The operation collapsed after police planted a covert listening device in Stephen's Jaguar, gathering enough evidence to charge them both. But during the trial at Preston Crown Court, prosecutors also detailed how Stephen and Peter's girlfriends, Rachel and Maria, benefited from the illegal profits. According to prosecutor David McLaughlin, the two women drove expensive cars and took regular trips to luxury destinations like Dubai, Las Vegas, and Florida. Rachel even submitted false information on a mortgage application for a house in Banks near Southport that the couple planned to live in. As Stephen was caught saying on tape, "It's in her name, just in case the police ever come for it." Both women later admitted to laundering money and received suspended sentences. In 2020, Rachel and Maria launched a luxury cosmetics brand tailored to gym-goers. There's no evidence suggesting the new business is connected to their past criminal ties. Kate Stewart. Often dubbed Liverpool's version of Karen Brady, Kate Stewart was determined to turn her life around after finishing school without a single qualification. By her 20s, Stewart claimed she had made her first million, spending freely on luxury hotel stays and designer jewelry. A mother of 4, she appeared on Channel 5's How the Other Half Lives, where she told Ruth Langsford, "I had no qualifications and worked a dead-end job for £2.50 an hour. Everyone counted me out, but I refused to quit. That struggle is what gave me the fire to succeed." Kate began her career managing a market in North Liverpool, eventually going on to acquire a thriving leisure complex near Anfield. These days, she boasts over 80,000 followers on Instagram, regularly posting snapshots of her glamorous nights out, often alongside names like Wayne Lineker. However, she's kept quiet publicly about her former relationship with ex-husband Graham Stewart, a man with a dark past. Stewart, whose real name is Graham Mears, was once jailed in connection with a case involving a man who was set alight in the 1990s. Mears was convicted of making death threats, but was not charged over the fatal fire. Later in that decade, he received a 9-year prison sentence for a drug-related conviction. In 2016, he appeared before Liverpool Magistrates Court, accused of assaulting Kate. He pleaded not guilty to 2 charges, and the case was dropped when she chose not to testify. The court was told she intended to file for divorce. According to a source, the couple had 3 children. children. The following year, Mears became the focus of an elite police unit formed to tackle organized crime. He stood at the center of a sophisticated fraud operation. It was revealed in court that he had secured mortgage loans of £172,500, £88,774 and £100,000 for properties in Gateacre, Maghull and Accrington. There is no indication that Kate Stewart's businesses had any connection to her ex-husband's criminal activities. Debbie Dillon made a grand entrance at her wedding to Liverpool gangster John Haas, stepping out of a cream Rolls-Royce in a white gown. It was the summer of 1996, and guests had to pass a wall of bulky security guards just to enter Brougham Terrace Registry Office. Photos from the ceremony looked more like scenes from a mob movie, with uneasy family members watching as the couple tied the knot. Haas, once branded a real-life Scarface by an associate, had evolved from street-level armed robberies to dealing heroin with a Turkish crime boss based in North London. But after Haas and his partner Paul Bennett were sentenced to lengthy prison terms in the mid-1990s, the pair devised a bold escape plan. Using his connections on the outside, Haas arranged for firearms to be hidden in various locations around Merseyside. Then he tipped off HM Customs, claiming insider knowledge of IRA weapons caches across the region. Officials took the bait, and after cooperating, both Haas and Bennett were released just 11 months into their 18-year sentences. When the Daily Mirror dispatched a journalist to Liverpool to cover the suspiciously early release, Haas became visibly hostile, lashing out at the reporter as Dillon watched and laughed. But behind the scenes, it later emerged that Dillon and her close friend Sharon Knowles played a direct role in pulling off the deception. The two women staged a fake weapons stash near the Holyhead Dublin ferry terminal in North Wales, planting Irish cigarettes, local newspapers, and a cache of machine guns and ammo to mimic a real IRA arms dump. The plan fell apart when investigators discovered the women had left their fingerprints on the weapons, which unraveled the entire scheme years later. Dillon was jailed for 4 years. Haas received a life sentence for perverting the course of justice, though he was eventually released on license, only to be recalled to prison for setting fire to a vehicle. Stephanie Smithwhite was a corrections officer at one of the UK's most secure prisons when she began an illicit affair with notorious drug kingpin Curtis "Cocky" Warren. Warren had been in the drug game since he was young and built a criminal empire worth tens of millions, becoming a dominant force in international trafficking with links to Colombian cartels. In Liverpool, he ran operations with brute force, even extorting sex workers and their clients under threat of blackmail. None of that deterred Smithwhite, who entered into a sexual relationship with Warren while he was locked up. At her trial for misconduct in a public office at Durham Crown Court, it was revealed that she had modified her uniform trousers, cutting a hole for sexual access during their encounters. The court heard how Smithwhite had fallen for the wrong man in the worst possible setting. As evidence showed, the pair had exchanged hundreds of intimate letters. She admitted sending him a photo of herself, kissing him, and engaging in sexual activity inside his cell, in a kitchen, and in a laundry room. In interviews, she confessed to even more encounters. When she was eventually caught, officers found she had also been in possession of a Zanko miniphone, a type of device commonly smuggled into prisons, though she denied bringing it in for Warren. The affair came to light after fellow staff noticed unusual behavior. Smithwhite was finally exposed when she was spotted handing Warren a note, which he quickly tried to eat in a panic. Thanks for watching. If you found this story eye-opening, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more true crime deep dives, and drop a comment with your thoughts. We appreciate your support. See you in the next one.